So YouTube, and I'm back at you another video. And in this video, I'm just giving my reaction to Georgia beating Texas. I picked Georgia to win the matchup, and like I said, Georgia came in the game and dominated on the road. They beat Texas 30-15. And like I said, man, like I predicted, Georgia came to the matchup prepared, man. Big win over the number one team, man. It just seems like whoever has that number one uh, has that one next to their team, man. They always drop it. Nobody really wants to have that number one, you know, ranking. But Georgia, man, did their thing. Carson Beck, he threw for 175 yards. He had 3 interceptions, but Georgia just plays that brand of football, man. You let them start run the ball, man. That's their bread and butter. Texas couldn't handle it, man. Like I said, this is going to be a game in the trenches. A lot of people was picking Texas to win this matchup, but I kind of felt like people was like, kind of down Georgia because they're saying Georgia last couple of games hasn't been themselves. But man, I never doubted Kirby Smart. I knew he was going to have his team ready, man, and he got up for this matchup, man. And basically just came down to Texas not being able to be effective. Quinn Ewers, he threw for 211 yards for 2 touchdowns. He had an interception. They actually sat him down in the matchup, and they brought in Manning, for him to play and everything like that. Um, I'm gonna look at the stats for you guys. Yeah, they put Arch Manning in there. He went 3 for 6 for 19 yards, and I guess Steve Sarkisian was just trying to get some type of spark on the offense. But they eventually brought Quinn Ewers back and everything like that, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't nearly as effective. Run the ball, you know, as a team, it was only averaging 1.1 rushing yards a rush. So, like I said, Georgia, man, their defense came in and they shut their run game all the way down. Let me see. When Trevian Wisner, he had 52 yards on the ground, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else, man, was in the single digits. Ryan Wingo, he only had 7 yards, and that's pretty much it, man. They were able to get 2 passing touchdowns though. Matthew Golden, he had 77 yards receiving, didn't record touchdown, but Jaden Blue, he was able to get one at the receiving position with 48 yards receiving with a touchdown. And then Isaiah Bunn was able to get 11 yards on a touchdown. But, man, Texas only was able to get 230 through the air, man. Um, you got to get credit to uh, Georgia's defense. They stepped up greatly in this matchup. Their defense looked alive, man. The team overall looked, you know, like a typical Georgia team. But there was an averaging Texas was only averaging 8.2 yards a pass. And like I said, they was only able to get 2 touchdowns. So pretty much, man. Then Georgia held them scoreless. They had 0 points at the half. They think they scored twice, maybe 3 times in the third quarter, and that was it. Other than that, Georgia kept them out of the end zone. Phenomenal feat that a lot of people forgot about, man. Georgia, they can definitely get up for the game, man. As long as they got Kirby Smart, he's definitely one of the best head coaches in college football. And I just knew he was going to have that team ready, like I predicted in my uh, prediction video. Now, Georgia, like I said, Carson Beck had 175 yards, no passing touchdowns, but he had 3 interceptions. Like I said, he's up and down. If he can clean up those turnovers and stuff like that, man, Georgia would be a well-oiled machine. But he didn't need to. He didn't have to be. You know, he didn't have to play at a high level because he has a lot of playmakers around him. ETN, man, Trevor ETN carried this team today. He had 87 yards on the ground, averaging 4.6 yards a carry, and he had 3 touchdowns. All 3 touchdowns were through Trevor Etienne. Uh, Hell of a back, man. He greatly stepped up in this matchup. And that's it. The At the receiver position, Oscar Duck, he had 45 yards receiving. Dominic Lovett had 35, and Aaron Smith had 32, and Trevor Etienne had 23 yards receiving. So they was averaging 7.6 yards of reception. No passing touchdowns, but all the touchdowns came on the ground, man. And Trevor Etienne, uh, I figured that Texas was going to be able to kind of stop the run a little bit like that, but Georgia was averaging 3.6 yards a carry. If you really look at the way Georgia plays, football, man, they're fine with getting 3 to 4 yards a pop. They just grind you down, and that's exactly what happened in this matchup. They just kept coming, and they just ran down Texas' throat, man. Good play calling, Mike Bobo. You know, yeah, Georgia, man, beat the #1 team in the country, man. My opinion, they definitely need to move up in the rankings. They're currently 5. I expect them to move up. And got some good teams in the country. You got Oregon. You still got Ohio State. You still got teams like that. But Georgia, man, if they can run the table, man, they can definitely represent the SEC. Might get another matchup between Georgia and Texas at the end. It all depends on what Texas does going forward. They only have one loss. Both teams have one loss now going forward, so we might see a rematch of this game. We'll definitely see who's going to represent who. In the playoffs, I expect both of these teams probably to make it. I expect them to run the table. Georgia still has some games they have to play. They have to play Tennessee. They have go on the road to Ole Miss, but their future is looking bright. If they keep on this path, they're definitely gonna be the top dog in the SEC. But Texas, man, tough loss for them. You gotta take your hat off to them though. They did get Georgia a little scared there, but yeah, for the most part, Georgia, man, once they figure it out, man, they're hard to stop. So uh, tough loss for the Longhorns, but I expect them to bounce back. Georgia, if they can continue going forward, man, they're definitely going to be the toughest team to beat in the SEC. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.